Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack a truly captivating narrative from a beautifully written short story. And this really isn't just your standard boy meets girl kind of tale. It's actually a profound look at serendipity, personal ambition, and the really deep, sometimes downright painful matters of the heart. We're going to trace the journey of two really compelling characters and break down the crucial moments that completely changed their lives. We'll be exploring how a totally random chance encounter can alter our destinies, how real emotional healing happens, and what on earth we're supposed to do when our greatest dreams suddenly collide with our deepest loves. So, get comfortable and let's explore this beautiful story together. Section 1. Serendipity in Asheville. A fresh start in a quiet town.
I want you to picture the scene our source material paints for us here. It's a warm autumn evening in the really quiet, cozy town of Asheville, North Carolina. The air is crisp and golden leaves are literally dancing through the air. Our main character, Ethan Carter, is out for a quiet evening walk after a long day. I mean, we've all needed one of those walks just to clear our heads, right? He's a 26-year-old photographer, and this golden fading light of autumn perfectly mirrors where he's at internally. He's recently moved to this charming town looking for a complete reset, just desperate to leave a really heavy past behind him. And the setting itself almost acts like a character here. It's a quiet, beautiful sanctuary that's finally offering him a chance to just breathe again.
Now, we have this incredible contrast between our two main figures. Ethan is an artist, right? He's a photographer whose entire job is to capture the world through a lens, but personally, he is totally retreating from it. He's actively trying to escape the painful memories of a severely broken relationship, so he's super guarded and isolated. But then, right across Maple Street, we have his stark opposite, Emma Wilson. Emma is a young librarian, and where Ethan is hiding from the world, Emma is actively nurturing it. Every single morning, Ethan notices her tending to this beautiful flower garden, watering roses, humming soft melodies to herself. She loves books, she loves music, and most importantly, she just genuinely loves helping people. The source text beautifully sets up this dynamic. You have the broken man in desperate need of a refuge, and the bright, nurturing woman who just seems to create a sanctuary wherever she goes. And then, of course, the universe intervenes. A rainy afternoon, a slipped camera, a puddle. It's a classic serendipitous inciting incident, your standard meet cute, if you will. But let's look at what this actually represents for Ethan. His camera, the literal tool he uses to view the world from a safe, guarded distance, slips right out of his hands and falls into a puddle. And before he can even react to this minor disaster, Emma rushes over with an umbrella. His main barrier to the outside world is compromised, and immediately she's right there offering shelter, and presumably some dry rice to save the camera.
She asks if he's okay, flashing this really warm smile. He nervously laughs, says he's fine, but his camera definitely isn't. And then we get this incredibly pivotal line from Emma. She says, "Come inside. I know a little about drying electronics." This is the exact moment the entire narrative shifts. This isn't just about saving a piece of technology anymore. This simple neighborly invitation marks the definitive end of Ethan's isolation. He is literally being invited into her world, out of the rain and out of his painful solitude. Section 2. Connection and Healing. Discovering shared dreams.
And this brilliantly illustrates how quickly a totally chance encounter can blossom into deep compatibility. As they sit in Emma's cozy kitchen drinking hot chocolate, they aren't just making polite, awkward small talk. They are actually aligning their life visions. They quickly realize they share this profound list of dreams. They both have a deep appreciation for the quiet beauty of sunsets, the nostalgia of old movies, and this grand, adventurous dream of traveling across America. It's right here, in this warm kitchen, that the seeds of real, deep emotional healing are planted for Ethan. Let's walk through how this connection builds over time. Days turn into weeks, and they develop this incredibly idyllic, grounding daily routine. Every evening, they walk together through the town park. Then, they watch the sunset from the old bridge, a location you'll definitely want to remember for later. And finally, they just stay out laughing until the stars fill the sky. For a man who arrived in Asheville completely broken and distrustful, this gentle, incredibly consistent routine of shared joy is exactly the medicine he needed.
And all this consistent connection eventually leads to a massive emotional breakthrough. One weekend, they decide to take a drive up to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Standing out on a cliff that overlooks these endless, majestic forests, Ethan finally voices the huge transformation that's taken place inside him. He quietly confesses, "I never believed I could trust someone again until I met you." It's just a massive moment for him. He is finally letting go of the heavy pain he came to Asheville to escape in the first place.
Emma looks right into his eyes and delivers this profound, beautifully wise response. She says, "Sometimes life breaks our hearts, only to lead us to the person who can heal them." It's such a beautiful moment of validation and hope for both of them, and it perfectly sets the scene, because as the source material notes, their very first kiss happens right then and there, just as the sun disappears behind the mountains.
Section 3. The impossible choice, when dreams and love collide.
Now, what's really interesting about this number is the sheer heavy physical weight of it, 2,500. Out of nowhere one morning, Emma receives a totally unexpected job offer. It's an opportunity to work at a famous library, which is the exact thing she has dreamed of doing her entire life. But there's a huge catch. The job is in Seattle. That is over 2,500 miles away from the quiet town of Asheville, and more importantly, over 2,500 miles away from Ethan.
So suddenly, Emma is completely torn. On one hand, she has her absolute lifelong career dream, the culmination of all her hard work and her deep passion for books and helping people. But on the other hand, she has the man she loves, the beautiful life they are actively building together, those sunsets on the old bridge. How do you possibly weigh one against the other without losing a fundamental part of yourself in the process? It is literally the ultimate impossible decision.
And this is exactly where we get to see the true depth of Ethan's character. He knows firsthand what it is to be broken, and he absolutely refuses to be the reason Emma's dreams are shattered, so he makes a heartbreaking sacrifice. He tells her softly, "If you stay because of me, you might regret it forever." He refuses to stand in her way. He loves her enough to let her go. And so the narrative tells us that with tears in her eyes, Emma boards a plane to Seattle.
Section 4. The unfinished ending, the passage of time.
Notice how time and distance just slowly degrade their connection. The source text deliberately walks us through this painful, step-by-step reality of their long-distance separation. Months pass by. Those vibrant, long conversations they used to have turn into shorter, hurried calls. Then those shorter calls devolve into fewer and fewer text messages, until eventually the communication just stopped completely. It is this quiet, haunting fade to silence that honestly anyone who's ever tried to hold on to a distant love can deeply relate to.
A full year of this heavy, heavy silence goes by. Ethan is just left there to wonder what could have been. But then, suddenly, a letter arrives in his mail. There's no return address on the envelope at all, and when he opens it up, there isn't some long letter of explanation. There's no apology for the silence. Inside is simply a single photograph. And it's a photograph of the old bridge, the exact spot where they used to watch all those countless sunsets together back in Asheville. So the crucial point here is what was actually written on the back of that photograph. There wasn't a paragraph, there wasn't some grand explanation. There were exactly 7 words. "Meet me here, one last sunset, Emma." Just let the heavy emotional weight of that invitation sink in for a second. After an entire year of total silence, a 2,500-mile gap, and completely shattered routines, she finally reaches out. But what does one last sunset actually mean? Is it just for closure, to finally say a proper goodbye face-to-face? Or is it an invitation to start over, to somehow bridge that massive distance once and for all? The source material leaves this brilliantly, agonizingly ambiguous.
And so I want to turn this over to you as we wrap up this explainer. Think about everything they went through, that incredible emotional healing, the truly heartbreaking sacrifice Ethan made, and then that agonizing year of total silence. If you were Ethan, would you meet her on the bridge? Would you take that leap of faith and risk getting your heart broken all over again, just for the chance at one more sunset? It's an incredibly powerful question about holding on to hope. Thank you so much for joining me as we explored this amazing story. Take a moment to think about what you would do and keep seeking out the fascinating stories around you.